Why is this zooming in and out? Wait, hold on, guys. Okay, are we good? Are we good? Are we good? Okay. Hey guys, thanks for watching. And if you know anything about me, it is that I love a great mystery. I love a great mystery. I love a great conspiracy. And there are some cases that I just completely get absorbed in and obsessed with. And one of the cases that I've been super obsessed with lately, I've kind of been off and on about it a little bit, but there is certainly one case that I just can't get off my mind, and that is the case of JonBenet Ramsey. Now, I know there has been a lot of stuff in the news lately since it's been the 20th anniversary of her death. Being that it is the 20th anniversary, there has been a lot of information that has come out, a lot of information that has sort of been replayed. There's been a lot of DNA evidence because of science that has become more available. The general feeling about what happened to her is the same, and I wanted to defend the brother, Burke Ramsey, in this video because I think that a lot of people have gone after him. Dr. Phil sat down with him and did an interview because the brother hadn't spoken in, I don't know, 20 years since she died or something. And obviously he wanted to use that to capitalize on the anniversary of her death. They had a special, they had another special on Lifetime. They had a whole bunch of specials to capitalize on the anniversary. And then I think they figured that the brother should speak out because the only other person that was in the house at that time was the brother. And, you know, the mother, Patsy Ramsey, has since passed away, so there goes that. And I guess maybe the brother thought that if he was going to speak out about anything, then he might as well do it now while other people are capitalizing on it. But I want to give you my, I guess, opinion on the entire thing. And, you know, if you haven't been following the case or don't know anything about it, the murder of JonBenet Ramsey she's that little girl that is infamous with the child beauty pageants. She has the blonde hair, she's all beautiful. There sort of was like a burst in criticism over child beauty pageants. I always thought they were shitty and bullshit before, but she was killed and she was found in her house, in her basement, by her father. She was hogtied and she was, I think, sexually assaulted. There was a ransom note. It was just very involved. The media, at that time, this was before social media, so at that time it was a huge case. Everybody had an opinion on what they thought happened to JonBenet. She was killed, or she was found murdered in her basement. The parents were automatically assumed guilty because of just the way that they found her, and there was one window that was kind of open to smidge. So Patsy and John are the parents of JonBenet. They were the ones that were basically tried and convicted, I think, in the public because they were just very shady. They went to lawyers instead of going right to the police. There was just all kinds of shadiness happening, and there have been countless books and countless TV shows made about this murder. And like I said recently, it's been the anniversary of her death. It still remains unsolved. The mother died of ovarian cancer, I believe, a couple years ago. Anybody that suspected her or eventually wanted her to say something, she's gone now. She can't speak from beyond the grave. So the father's left, the brother's left, and that's pretty much it for people that could eventually bring closure to this case. This is what I think happened. Dr. Phil interviewed Burke Ramsey, who obviously is socially awkward beyond belief. The guy is sitting there getting interviewed by Dr. Phil, and he's smiling and he's grinning. He's doing all the things that if the public thought that the brother had anything to do with the murder shouldn't be doing, unless he was like a super psycho sociopath genius, which I don't think he is, and here's why. The time that his sister died, he was, I believe, 9 years old, so he was a little kid. I watched the interview with Dr. Phil a couple of times, and I have a very good read of people. I always felt that I could be some sort of a psychic or some sort of a medium. This whole thing with my YouTubes doesn't work out, I may shift and do psychic readings and paranormal things because I always feel that I'm very intuitive and I'm very good with reading people, and I'm very good with just knowing people, and I can tell people who are telling the truth. So if this YouTube thing doesn't work out, I have always felt that I am extremely sensitive, hypersensitive, observant. I like to observe people, and I'm very good at observing how people react in certain situations. So if this whole thing doesn't work out, you guys are going to be getting a slew of psychic readings. I am going to talk to everybody. Let me know if you guys want me to do that, because if I could, then I have found what I'm going to do with my channel. Sold. So JonBenet Ramsey. I don't think the brother did it. I watched the interview with Dr. Phil, and I believe he was telling the truth. I do believe he was telling 100% the truth. He, to me, seems like a kid who was just extremely socially awkward. He didn't have the behaviors and the body language of somebody who was lying. He had the body mannerisms and behaviors of somebody who probably hasn't had a girlfriend. He had nothing to do with this. If I want to invoke any of whatever intuitive gifts I feel that I have, I feel he had nothing to do with this. I feel it strongly enough to know that it's just, no, you don't look at him. Who I think killed JonBenet is, I think it is indeed an intruder. However, I think Patsy and John did have something to do with it. I don't think that the two of them directly committed the act, but I do think that they covered it up. I think that it was somebody from either the pageant circuit or somebody who had been in their house, because they apparently showed off their house a lot, entertaining. They would have people over for Christmas. I think it was somebody that was really close to the family, but who also saw her as a Barbie doll, something that was just really unattainable. And I think that Patsy knew it. I think that the guy may have not been mentally stable. I think the guy who did do this did break into the house while they were away. I think the family knew him. I think the guy has, I think he's still alive. I feel he's still alive. I think he has some sort of a mental disability. Not a mental disability like you suffer from depression or you have anxiety. A mental disability that anybody with a heart, if you see this person in public, you would almost let some things slide. And what I mean by that is, you see like a man at a pageant with young girls, you know, parading around, doing things, saying certain things, you know, I would think it would be extremely creepy and inappropriate. If you saw someone who had a certain sort of disability, you might be easier to write it off. And I'm not trying to offend any mentally ridiculous people, but this is just like what I feel and what I've sensed, because I have watched hours of documentaries on JonBenet Ramsey, and what I feel and what I see, it was somebody the family knew. It was somebody that had some sort of a mental and a physical disability, really strong. I don't know what it is, but it's something that he was allowed to get through life and get away with a lot of things that most people who didn't have a physical disability wouldn't be able to get away with. And how do I compare it? It's almost like Lenny in Of Mice and Men, when he would break the puppies' necks. You knew he wasn't, you know, the sharpest bulb in the box, but you knew he was doing horrible things. So when he did them, instead of like immediately, you know, chastising him, you would maybe approach him with a little bit more compassion, because you know he's not well. I think the person that killed JonBenet Ramsey had some sort of a mental and physical disability. The family knew them. He had been in their house. I do think it's a man. I think that after they arrived back, the parents, the kid went up to bed, Burke. The parents saw what happened. The parents realize that they have to somehow make this into something that it was. I mean, they have to make it into something different than what it was, because he just is not right in the head. So they were grieving, but at the same time they did have to come and work together as John and Patsy and this person and create the cover-up. I feel that very strongly. The reason Patsy was able to proclaim her innocence and John was able to proclaim his innocence so well is because they didn't directly kill their daughter. So all these interviews that they're giving, and they're saying, well, we did not kill our daughter, in their mind they are telling the truth, because they didn't do the physical act of it, this other person did. So the covering up part isn't really guilt, it's helping cover up, but they still didn't do it. So that's why Patsy was so able to say, I didn't do it, I would never do this, I love that girl. Because she didn't directly do it. But I feel three people had a hand in it. Patsy passed away, I believe, from ovarian cancer, so we will never hear from her. John, I don't believe will ever tell the truth because Patsy's gone, and I feel like they have some sort of like unspoken promise to each other that that will never be revealed. John will pass away. I feel like in 20 years, and this is like a long shot, I feel like in 20 years we're going to get to the point where our DNA evidence and our ability to excrete things from dead bodies, this is kind of gruesome and graphic, but is going to become so good that you can exhume bodies up to a certain year mark and be able to confirm right then and there who did what, how it happened. And I have a feeling that that's what's going to happen with her. I have a feeling that the father's going to die. I have a feeling that the brother, maybe when Burke is like 50, 60 years old and the technology has caught up with that, he's going to want to have JonBenet exhumed. And everybody's going to find out the truth right then and there. So that is what I feel happened to JonBenet Ramsey. Let me know if you've been into this case or if you've followed this case, what's your opinions on it? Who do you think killed her? Do you think it will ever be solved? I don't know, but it's a fascinating case nonetheless. That's what I thought. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.